Hi, you guys. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I hope that you all are doing well on today. So, I wanted to get on today and to remind you, stay in your own lane and stay where God has you. So, for an example, to be more specific, so if God has you in a place to where He has you, studying a particular chapter, or doing something specific like writing a book or some type of business or some type of charity work or whatever it is, and he wants you to kind of focus on that and to be there and put all your focus and energy into that. Be sure and be mindful that you're continuing to pray every day, but most importantly, be mindful and be very cautious, because other people will come and want you to do certain things, and they think it's okay just because it's something to do with helping and ministry, which granted, it may be good, it may be great, but what I'm saying is God wants us to be in alignment. So it could be where, again, God could have you in a specific place in the Bible, sorry. And he has you studying certain chapters, and he has you working on certain sermons and certain this and certain that. And that's kind of where he wants you to stay. And then there can be someone else where you two are walking with the Lord. Both of you are doing the same thing, but God can have them doing something else, in different chapters, doing this and doing that, studying this and working with people and homeless and this and this and that. And just because it's good and just because it seems like something we should be doing all the time, just make sure you stay in alignment where God wants you to be, if that makes sense. Because just because person A and person B are doing two different things, granted, but person A, God has them in a certain place, and God has person B in a particular place. And sometimes what happens is maybe person B wants person A to do this and do that and do that and do this, because the thought is in their mind, it's ministry, it's helping, it's doing this, it's doing that. And it's not necessarily saying it's bad, but if God has not told you to do it or to help or give advice or so or whatever, don't do it. You know what I mean? Oh, that's why I always say pray. We are to always pray and ask God and get a revelation from him before we do anything. And the biggest thing, it is also Bible study. I know it says in the word, we are to fellowship with other believers, but you have to remember everything that we do, even if it's in the Bible and that we're supposed to be doing. I'm saying God could have you in a place to where it could be something to where you're not ready to be teaching people in that type of capacity or manner, or even just maybe the person that wants to do the Bible study with you, they're not able to receive what you have to teach them or offer them, or it could just be a plethora of things. But that's why I'm saying, just an example, to always go to God first and ask him before doing anything, starting any courses, doing anything online, any ministry, any type of business, any type of, thing that you feel you should do. And I'm just saying that because, you don't want to get out of alignment with, say you're doing one thing and someone else comes with, oh, help me with this and help me with that. It may be good, it may be great, and you're helping people, yeah, but you then become detoured from what God has told you to do. And then you get distracted by somebody else's assignment. Like, if that makes sense. So again, make sure you stay focused and you do what God told you to do first before you start doing anything else, before you start considering anything else. And always, write it down so that you can remind yourself. And granted, it's going to be days where you feel like it's going to be some days you're going to be on fire. You're going to be on fire doing this, on fire doing that. Like, yeah, God, I hear you. I feel you. Just flowing in the spirit and then flowing with God. And then there's going to be days where you just feel like God ain't really talking. I don't really feel it. I do it tomorrow type of things. It's going to be days like that where you're just not going to feel nothing, or you're just not going to want to do it, or you're just not going to feel like doing it. But even in those days, continue to push, continue to sit with God. And if you're not hearing anything, that's fine. But as long as you're putting that effort in to do what God has told you to do and what He wants you to do, because all of we're all on the same walk. All we do is encourage each other until we get to the end. But the thing is, we are all on different assignments. And people have different ministries. And ministry is not just you being in church, in the pulpit, baptizing folks and doing all that. That's not just ministry. Ministry can be you being a doctor, you being a nurse, you being a hairstylist, you being a life coach, you being a whatever you do, that can be your ministry. Maybe you're a cook and that's how you minister to people. A trainer, that could be your ministry. Getting people fit mentally and physically, and all that great stuff, teaching them how to eat better, all that great stuff. So your ministry is not just ministry is not just you being in the church. And a lot of people think that, like, I ain't in no church, I ain't doing no ministry, this and that. But ministry is what you love to do best, and you're very good at it. And it's almost like you'll do it without being paid. Something that God has directed you to, and something you have such a deep passion to do. You know what I mean? Something that you just love, type of thing. So many different ministries out here. So again, before you do anything, go to the Lord. Go to Him in prayer. Go to Him and, fasting, and just make sure before you make any move and before you do anything, ask Him first. I can't stress this point enough. Just because it's church folks and it seems good and it seems like it's something that you should do, it's not always good to be doing for you, if that makes sense. For the people who this is for, you're gonna know it, you're gonna get it. And I'm not saying don't help out with church stuff and don't help people do this and help people do that. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, whatever assignment and project God has you on first, before you start going to try to jump into somebody else's project or try to get in with what they're doing, you have to finish what God wants you to do. Okay? And just let Him lead you and direct you, because sometimes you can connect with other people and they may help you. There's some instances like that, but for the most part, a lot of people are in isolation, or more of like a solo thing where God has them doing and studying and reading certain stuff so that they can get the knowledge, the revelation, and just gather and get things together. That's what I'm saying, more so the things that He wants you to do individually. Just make sure you're sober minded and making sure that you're not trying to dip into somebody else's ministry and somebody else's work that they are doing without getting the confirmation from the Lord, those type of things. So again, go to God in prayer, and always double check, triple check, and quadruple check everything and everybody that you're connecting to before you connect to them, because people seem like a nice person, people seem like this, and people seem like that, but you got to do your background work and pray about it, and go forward from there. just so that you're not fooled and you're not deceived by a perception of what you see of people. Okay, and then sometimes you're gonna meet certain people and they're not perfect. Okay, so however you feel led, allow the Lord to do so. That's the biggest thing. Don't just try to take in every information that you think is good, because sometimes we can't receive certain things, and then just trying to learn what they're learning and then learn what we're learning. It's great to learn, but I'm saying to stay in your lane. If God wants you to learn this or know that, he's gonna bring it to you, and then you're gonna know, like, oh, okay, let me study this or ask the person questions about this or about that. And it's just saying you can't be in everything all the time. Okay, stay in your lane, stay in your place, and just cruise with it. Just cruise and let God do what he's gonna do, and you'll find peace in that. Most of the times you start to feel uneasy when you're trying to do so many things at once and trying to be like them and see what they're doing and trying to learn what they learn and trying to dip in their stuff and trying to be over here with them and trying to help with them and fellowship with them and do this and do that. Then you're way over there trying to do this and do that. Then you're back here, and then where your main focus should be or your sanctuary is, it's like you're failing. You haven't did your homework, you haven't did the upkeep work, you haven't did the landscape, you haven't did what was required of you, but you're just all everywhere else learning everything else. And God is saying, I needed you to be studying this. I need you to be studying these 4 or 5 chapters right here, but yet you're over here studying all this other stuff that you had no business being over there doing yet. Those type of things. So whoever gets this word and knows what I'm talking about, you probably been in that place where you're just kind of like bouncing and scrambling, trying to figure out what is what, because maybe God's downloading into you right now, or you just feel like you're in such an uncomfortable space and you're just trying to like figure it out, and you're just trying to figure out like, where God, what you want me to do, where you want me to go. And if God's not speaking, go back to the last thing he's told you to do and work that and twirl that. Even if you don't hear him, sit and wait and keep going over it so that you're in the correct position when God shifts, because you're in the last place he told you to be. Okay? That means that I love you guys. Until next time, take care.